Welcome back everyone to episode 11. Today we're gonna talk about Genesis 1 verse 11. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, herb yielding seed, and fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. So on day 3, we move from foundational division and naming, which was on verses 9 and 10, into fruitfulness, multiplication, and inner generative power. So the Zohar views this verse not merely as a botanical moment, but as a revelation of the hidden creative force within all things. This is the first time the earth is invited to co-create, becoming a vessel that expresses divine vitality from within. So the first phrase we have, "Let the earth bring forth." This is earth awakens as a co-creator. So unlike previous commands, where God alone initiates creation, here the earth itself is summoned to bring forth life. So according to the Zohar, the earth is not passive, but holds latent spiritual forces implanted from the beginning. The phrase, "let the earth bring forth," means spiritual potential is activated from within creation. Divine energy awakens dormant seeds. This reflects the Sephirah of Malkuth, which receives from above and manifests below. Earth becomes the womb of manifestation. This is the spiritual archetype of receptivity, birthing, and partnership with the divine, a cosmic model for all creation. The next phrase we have grass, herb yielding seed, and fruit tree. So here we have 3 levels of growth. The Zohar sees the 3 types of plant life as representing ascending spiritual dimensions. So grass, in Hebrew deshe, represents basic vitality, the minimal awakening of spiritual consciousness, linked to simple faith or the initial stirring of life force within the soul. Herb yielding seed, Esef Mazria Zera, symbolizes multiplicative potential, spiritual actions that generate further blessings, represents mitzvot and good deeds, which plant seeds across all worlds. Fruit tree yielding fruit, Etz Pri Oseh Pri, represents the highest spiritual expression, actions that bear fruit of their own kind and reproduce righteousness. These are souls, teachings, or revelations that perpetuate light, nurturing others with divine wisdom. Each level corresponds to increasing refinement, from raw potential to structured purpose to eternal impact. So the third phrase we have, after its kind, whose seed is in itself. This is the law of spiritual integrity. The Zohar focuses deeply on the phrase, after its kind, and whose seed is in itself. This describes the divine order where each creation reproduces according to its essence. In mystical terms, everything in existence has a spiritual root and inner seed, the DNA of its divine source. Seed in itself means every action, soul, or spiritual impulse contains its own inherent destiny and energy to propagate. This teaches a principle of spiritual authenticity. Each soul must bear fruit in alignment with its unique divine design. So the earth as Malkut. The Zohar links the earth here with the Sephirah of Malkuth, the lowest of the 10 Sephirot, which receives all upper light and manifests it into form. Symbolizes the Shekinah, the divine presence in the world, especially within the physical and feminine realms. Through this act of flowering and seeding, Malkuth channels upper divine energies into creative reality, initiating abundance, fruitfulness, and continuity. Thus, this verse is a mystical birthing moment where creation begins to self-perpetuate, reflecting will of the Creator through autonomous vitality. Mystical teaching on inner seed. The Zohar emphasizes that within each person there exists spiritual seed, not just physical, but divine potential. This seed within itself represents one's inner light, creative essence, and soul task. When nurtured through study, prayer, and mitzvot, this seed becomes fruitful, influencing others and elevating the world. Every thought, word, and action carries seed, either of holiness or distortion. The verse is a call to conscious spiritual planting. The next verse was, "And it was so." This is activation of the divine blueprint. The closing phrase, "Vayehi Chen," and "it was so" in English, is more than confirmation. It signals that creation responded to divine intent. The blueprint of self-sustaining life is now embedded in creation. Earth becomes a vessel for ongoing manifestation, no longer waiting on direct divine command for each act of growth. The Zohar celebrates this as the awakening of autonomous holiness within physical creation. So we're going to summarize today's verse. Genesis 1 verse 11, through the Zoharic lens, is a turning point in creation. For the first time, the earth is invited to co-create, activating its inherent spiritual potential. The verse speaks of 3 levels of plant life: grass, herbs, and fruit trees, each symbolizing deeper levels of spiritual development, from raw life force to fruitful deeds, to souls and actions that multiply divine presence. The repeated phrase, "after its kind, whose seed is in itself," reveals a profound mystical law. Everything has a spiritual seed aligned with its essence. Authenticity, order, and self-propagation are built into creation. This reflects spiritual integrity. Every soul has a purpose, and when aligned with its divine root, it naturally bears the right kind of fruit. The earth here represents Malkuth, the divine feminine, the Shekinah, receiving divine light and giving it form. It mirrors the human being. When we awaken our own seed through righteous action, we become fertile ground for blessing, creativity, and spiritual influence. So in closing, this verse is a declaration. Life is not only given, it is empowered. the earth becomes a channel of divine will, fruitfulness, and continuity, foreshadowing our own spiritual calling to plant seeds of light and let them grow. That's it for today. Thank you for your donation. Be blessed, everyone, and I will see you on the next episode.